We're going to be talking about Syesha Mercado, and she's a mother, a singer, songwriter, creative entrepreneur who has had success on the Broadway and also a second place runner-up on season 7 of American Idol. She's also a vegan, and her partner, Tyron, he is an educator and a youth service professional working in a foster system, according to GoFundMe. Now, the kids. We're going to mainly be focused on Amen-Ra, the 15-month-old son at the time, March 11th, that was taken away due to the B12 alleged incident, and the newborn that was 10 days old that was taken, that we saw the viral video of police pulling them over and taking the baby. The reason we're starting with the vitamin B12 incident March 11th is because that's what takes us to today, the most current incident. So right now we're talking about 2 children. There's going to be 3 others briefly mentioned, but focus on the 2 children. Okay, March 11th, the mother, okay, she's vegan and she's breastfeeding and she's having a hard time transitioning. And according to the GoFundMe and some of the articles that I read, they took the baby to the hospital for supplementation, and they stated that the baby had malnutrition and etc. I'm going to play you a clip to check out from Syesha and Tyron. I'm also going to play a clip from the live stream, and you have to take in context. It's a lot, somewhat. The doctor, Sally, whatever her name is, Sally Reed, Sally Smith, and her history, which I'll probably do a separate video on it, but we talked about it on the live stream. Okay. Amen-Ra is the B12 incident that happened March 11th, their son, and that's what's going to lead us to the newborn. And for short, we're going to call Amen-Ra Ra. That's what the family does to Ra.
So this is their statements.
Failing health.
Our investigators learned through medical professionals that this child was malnourished, underweight, very unhealthy. And we were also told by these medical professionals that unless he got the treatment that he needed, ongoing, consistent treatment, that he would die.
Manatee County says a judge chose to place Amen-Ra at first in a medical foster care home.
It's our understanding that there had been a breakdown, a lack of medical care.
In a statement, Mercado told Fox 13 she favors a holistic approach to healthcare and that her son has been seen by medical doctors and a lactation specialist before his visit to All Children's Hospital.
So let's break this down real quick. Let me show y'all something real quick. Let me show y'all something. They were talking about our son inside the hospital, how bad he was doing, right? This is in the hospital. Show y'all something. How bad he was doing. This is Amen-Ra in the hospital with his amazing mother, my wife's side. This is how bad he was doing in the hospital, my people. You see Amen-Ra, right? This is how bad he was doing in the hospital. Y'all want to see the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? This is how bad our son was doing in the hospital. You see the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? This is how bad our son was doing. This is how bad our son was doing. I'm going to keep repeating this. This is how bad our son was in the hospital. He went there for fluids while transitioning from breastfeeding to independent drinking. This is like a child that's about to die. This is him in the hospital. Does this look like a child that's about to die? This is Amen-Ra in the hospital. I'm gonna say this repeatedly. Does this look like a child that's at imminent risk for death or in danger? Does he look like he's extremely sick?
Now, I want to play you one more clip with regards to the B12 incident and Ra. And I'm not taking sides. I'm presenting the information. Dr. Sally Smith, I definitely don't like what I read about her. And I think that's definitely something to take in context with this. But this clip is quite interesting because allegedly the reason that they took Ra was because he was malnourished and they wanted to give the B12 shot. And the parents are saying that they didn't deny the B12 shot. But in this clip, a friend of theirs, I don't know if it's a friend or family, speaks about that situation and gives some details about, I guess, how they felt about this shot.
First claim was for the first legal child abduction was to say that she refused a B12 vitamin shot. We already established that a B12 vitamin shot does not break or make a baby. especially one who would do it through the multivitamins, was receiving the B12 supplements. And if anybody Googles this, any infant below 1 year old is 0.9 micrograms a day. These people try to inject raw with 1,000 micrograms a day for 4 days. They were trying to do medical neglect. All that the mother did was stand in their ground. As a black person, they were standing their ground because they black, they don't have rights. Because we colored, we don't have rights.
There's a couple of things with the vitamin B12 thing that was mentioned here by, I believe, the friend. I'm not an expert in this, but I used to work in a hospital just making the medications for babies, chemo, all kinds of stuff, drawing things up. And the vitamin B12 does come in different concentrations, but the main concentration, one of them is 1,000 micrograms per ml. Now, I don't want to harp on the dosing and what should have been given or not. I also don't want to confuse people with this talk, but I used to make the IVs for kids, adults, babies. Like I said, a doctor is the one that really decides, makes the orders and all that kind of stuff too, but I can understand it. And so she said 0.9 micrograms for 1 or younger. This site, which is Up to Date, which is a very credible medical site, and the other one I'm going to reference is from NIH. But it says children from 1 to 3 years old is 0.9 mics per day. For infants 1 to 6 months, and then they have children 7 to 12 months, 0.4 mics per day. And is really based off, if you want the most accurate dose, micrograms per kilogram per day, meaning weight-based dosing, which is the most accurate type of dosing you can give to somebody. And so it's really for 1 to 6 months, 0.4 mics per day. You can get a more accurate dose by doing the calculation, or 0.5 mics per day. Besides the point, but that's kind of besides the point. What she's trying to get across is that she's saying 1,000 mics is too much. However, okay, I did find some information with regards to children or infants that are vitamin B12 deficient. I found multiple sources and bits of information online referencing that there's cases where infants may be given 1,000 mics of B12 for several days, 2 to 7 days in some cases, and it just really depends. There is actually a lot of instances where this was done, where B12 was administered to a child for 10 days, and that helped them along with consuming solid food and decreasing breastfeeding and getting the blood count of vitamin B12 back to normal. Now, however you feel about the B12 is however you feel. The B12 thing is a thing that's always been something with vegans. I guess they have to supplement it. I'm not an expert in that field, and there's probably many vegans that can speak to that situation. And I know the father mentioned in one video that the weight charts are based off of kids that are breastfed, not kids that are vegan. And there was a notation on the Up to Date website with regards to the dosing, the regular dosing, which I just talked about previously, that says neonates born to vegan mothers should be supplemented with the AI for vitamin B12 from birth. They may have low vitamin B12 stores at birth, and if breastfeeding, may only receive a small amount of the vitamin from the mother's milk. This B12 incident is where the child gets taken, and however you feel, like I said, it's really a thing of, I haven't seen the blood work. I don't know what the levels were, and we already know the thing with the doctor, and I don't know much about vegans. I've heard of it, but I don't know too much. But it comes down to, was this child's B12 levels at a dangerous level? B12 is really important. B12 you can die, from B12 deficiency if it's like really, really low. Was it really that low? We saw the pictures that the father showed. Now, with the medical field and, your rights and the Constitution, and as a parent, that's comment down below. If it was really that low, should the medical staff be able to step in or not? Should the parents still have the ultimate choice? Even, let's say, if it was going to take their child to death. I don't know what happened in the hospital. I don't know what the blood work was. I don't know the blood levels. And I'm not here to dictate anything. I'm just presenting the information, and you can take it how you want it. 1,000 mics is not something that seems to be out of the ordinary when a child is vitamin B12 deficient. So Ra was taken, and now this brings us to the newborn. Now, some of the things with the newborn. I think the newborn was born at home because officers indicated that they weren't notified, and it seems the case management didn't know about it. And something I didn't know until after that stream where we watched the incident, when the system, CPS, takes a child from you, I guess they need to know all your kids. And if you have a child, they need to know that you have a child, and I guess they have to check the child and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, they had the child at home, and apparently these people, the case management, didn't know about it. So this is where we're going to introduce some more kids. The father recently got his 3 kids back. He has 3 other kids, got his 3 kids back. So the case management is coming there to do a check about the 3 kids. And while there, they ask about the wife. The husband refers these people to their lawyer. And apparently the wife was in the backyard with the baby. Now, the following audio, they're going to be explaining this. You have to listen carefully. Also, mom and dad stated and claimed that they had the baby seen the day before by doctors. Also, they said that they were on their way to the sheriff's office at 8 a.m. on Wednesday, but they were told that there was nobody available. So there's like multiple things happening in these conversations.
No, this is all I wanted. I know you're just doing your job.
Right.
But yesterday when they came by, they already come to our home every other week to check on my other 3 that I just got custody of. When they showed up yesterday as a new supervisor, this is the case.
And they have, somebody said they had 3 other children.
Safe Children Coalition.
Right.
Not you guys.
Right.
They checked on them, seen them, and then asked about my wife. And I'm like, if you want to know any information about anything regarding her, contact our attorney. So if they were seeking to get the proper information that's under the statutes, they would have contacted our attorney and got whatever information they needed. That makes sense to you?
No,
you understand?
I understand.
It's making it
totally
seem like we're not
where you're
cooperating, and we have.
No. We have your kids, your older kids
that are
under,
safe,
like Pasco.
But they're
right.
safe. But under Manatee County, we're treated like our babies aren't safe. Does that make sense to you?
So first we have the children that are under the care of Pasco
in
your care. So they're coming out to check that. We also have your
child
that was
Manatee
removed.
County. Yes.
Yes. So whenever a new baby is born, and there's already a child that is already out of your care,
yes,
it's going to be on us to make sure that
to check on the welfare. We get it,
so
but why do you have to remove? Why do you have to remove her?
Because we couldn't get access to the child.
We said contact our attorney. That's all we said. We didn't say that. We said contact our attorney. That's what we told
them.
him.
We don't have a contract.
CPS got the report, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we're now involved.
And our no, we get it. No, we get it. No, yesterday we get that when they came, and I said, if you want that information, contact our attorney. They never did that. They just went and got these orders. They could have got all the information they needed through our attorney.
You already have a child that's in here, so obviously, we're gonna want to make sure that this child is in here.
No, we get that.
So,
that's why you. We get that.
When we do our job, we have to do the welfare check. Case management couldn't do that.
No, they could have. We just told them to get the information from our attorney.
So
that makes sense to you,
man?
man?
Welfare check. They said how Syesha doing.
They wanted to see you. They wanted to see the baby.
And I asked them to please contact our attorney first, and then we can.
They didn't. No, they didn't.
They never.
So here's the situation. There was between case management and the Children's Legal Services attorneys.
Yeah.
All of that conversation and all of that interaction happened between them, and then case management took to the attorneys, and then the attorney went before a judge, and that's what you have is that signed paperwork by a judge stating that we need to take possession. Okay, that we need to conduct. That's one. The other one is that we need to conduct welfare investigation.
No, yeah, we got, we got it. It's just that when the investigator was.
But can we just stay with the baby while you do all this? Can we stay with the baby so my baby can eat?
Go ahead.
But they stress me out so much.
I know, sorry. It's just all right. Just let.
You tried to take the baby to someone. There was no caseworker available. And operator number 11 said for us to be at the office at 8 a.m.
Okay, where did you try to take the baby at?
Now, listen to the following conversation. I'm going to continue the video you were just watching, but they mention in reference, and you have to listen, Manatee County in Lakeland, okay? Because they said that they were going to the sheriff's office. And the police officer asked, were you in Manatee County? He kind of like, yeah, we try to go to the sheriff's office. So the guy goes, we pinged your cell phone and it pinged to Lakeland. Just observations that I'm noticing.
Where did you try to take the baby at?
To the department.
Nobody was available.
Okay, but where
To
did you
the
call?
you all sheriff's department.
Manatee County
It's
Sheriff's
documented.
Office,
You got Manatee County still? You called them?
Manatee County.
Yeah, they said nobody was available. They said just come 8 o'clock in the morning. I mean, this voicemail is left. I called dispatch and both
that order since 5 o'clock yesterday.
Yeah, I called both of them.
Your cell phone was in Brooksville or Lakeland or
No, it wasn't
somewhere else.
Lakeland.
Oh, okay. So, regardless of that, at this point, the way that we need to handle this is we're going to have case management transport the baby. If you guys want to, any representative. Let me finish what I was saying. We're going to take the baby, transport the baby to the hospital with case management, not law enforcement. That we can let them know that, okay? They can talk to you about it. That's fine. But we're going to transport the baby to the hospital, and then you guys
can I stay with my baby so my baby can eat?
That's between you and case management.
That's between you and
But how is the baby going to be able to eat?
So you take the baby now.
I'm not taking
She won't be able to eat.
For case management. They're
All right.
actually on their way right now. They're going to
Case management is on their way. So will case management allow her to drive?
That will be between them.
Who decides?
That's case management.
Case management is the sheriff deputy. When you all follow her, it's in the police car.
No, we can't follow her because that turns into unsafe situations.
Okay,
Unsafe? Do you guys feel like I'm going to do harm to you guys? I won't harm anybody. I don't harm anybody.
That's going to be a decision.
I'm just trying to do the best for my baby.
They're the ones that have the court orders that were signed by the judge, so they're going to be the authority in what does and doesn't happen, okay? We are here to keep peace and to make sure everyone's safe.
There's no peace. This isn't peace.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the backyard situation. So we've touched on the B12, we've touched on the newborn, and we're going to touch on, and we touched on the office and the ping and, you know, them taking the baby, and the baby, I would think probably the baby was born at home, right? And, you know, I don't know, maybe they didn't want these people in their life. The other thing is, so when these case management people came to the house and they asked about the mother, the father said, talk to our attorney for more details. And apparently she was in the backyard with the newborn. Okay. And in the live stream we were watching, this was the explanation that the friend gave.
But the CPI officer, Syesha, when you need to ask what the allegations are. Having a child, like you said, is not a reason to take your child, right? That's not a report. What was the report that came in that gave them the authority to come out to your house? That's what you need to ask CPI. What was the report? Having a child is not an allegation.
They don't know nothing about this baby. She went to her backyard. They try to act like she's trying to run from her backyard. Where's that backyard leading to? To the highway? We have to ask these questions. Why are they doing this to a black woman? Why are they doing this to Syesha and Ty? Because she went to her backyard and started walking with her child. They're trying to use that. Like, she don't have rights to go to the backyard with her child and try to relieve her stress and just walk out in her backyard. Since when is that not a law? Since when is that against the law? These CPI officers really got to go.
Now, the last portion of this that I want to cover, and I hope that I made this somewhat informative and jam-packed with information, and you can come to your own conclusion and you can do your own research. Now, race was brought up a lot, and, you know, black women and racial discrimination on the GoFundMe, and throughout the entire video, you know, referencing skinheads and all this stuff. You know, it was a big thing that came up throughout the video, the GoFundMe, on the news media, and the articles. I don't know about the cops, but from this story with Dr. Sally Smith, which is, I do not like all the things I'm hearing about her. She seems to me, in my opinion, like a bad person. She's made some pretty bad choices. I don't know what the numbers are, what the ratio, but according to that article, it seems like allegedly she destroyed some lives. But I see a wide variety of people. It's not just black people. It's a lot of white families and different families from all walks of life that have seemed to be affected and maybe allegedly targeted. So if you guys want me to do a Sally Smith video with the stories, I can look up some other stories if possible too regarding Dr. Sally Smith. The GoFundMe reference not only racial discrimination, but that the Manatee County Commissioner recently declared racism a county public health crisis, which is something that they did do. Again, I don't know anything about over there up north, Manatee County and these places, and I'm not contesting what they're saying. And yeah, I think that's it, yo. Thank you so much for coming through. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe, turn on the bell with notifications, because I worked on this several hours tonight. Okay, so I'd appreciate it if you did that. Comment down below, let me know your thoughts. And you know, it's interesting. There's some interesting things coming from this. I don't know. I don't know that we've heard everything or the whole story. I'm sure there's more bits and pieces, and I kind of wondered too, what was up with the other kids? You just got them back from what? Like how? Like what happened? Kind of thing. Even though they don't have to say anything, but I'm just wondering, right? And I guess, you know, I don't know, the vitamin B12 thing and that whole situation, and that thing really is a problem for vegans for like forever. I don't know how the whole thing works. And it's a whole thing with mothers that are vegan and breastfeeding, and that's a whole nother side thing with that too. And vitamin B12, I've read, is like water soluble, so like, you know, you're not gonna like overtake it. You'll just pee it out, and it is something that I see they have. It seems like they have a lot of protocols. They've done this before, so it's not like they were trying to poison and kill a child with that method. It's something that actually is done, you know, so I'm not sure. And so as of now, from what I saw, both kids are still in protective custody. And that's that. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves. Peace.